Hey everyone, Genome here, coming at you with the next episode of my Marvel Strike Force Beginners series set of videos. Today's video, I'm going to deal with one of the easier places to farm characters in the game, and that's the Blitz Store. Now, Blitz is a funny animal in that you get tons and tons and tons of credits to spend there, so characters really aren't that hard to come by. But, there's probably a definitive order of character you should be going for, and there's a couple must-haves in there.
Now, this is going to take all my skill.
But for different reasons. So let me just delve in real quick to the characters that I think are a must-have first, and then we'll talk about the other characters later on. One character not showing up here, of course, is Domino. You get her out of the Blitz orb itself as I believe 5% drop rate, so you can't really control too much how many shards you get of her, other than blitzing a lot. So she's a vital character too, by the way, because she unlocks Legendary and Doc Ock. By herself, she's not really anything of a good character or anything like that. You know, she's on a very good war offense team, but that's X-Force, and that's later on. But this is mostly aimed for beginners, but I just want to let you know that's where Domino is. So open those Blitz orbs. So anyway, let's get on to it. So if you get down to it, there's technically only two completely necessary farms in the Blitz Store.
Example.
One of them is right here, Rhino. Rhino is, I just said take him all the way to 7 stars, but at least 5 stars to start with, right? He'll be your first Sinister 6, probably to 5 stars, by the way. Easy farm. He unlocks 2 legendaries. I've talked about it in a couple videos now. Shuri, Invisible Woman. He's a necessary component for it, so you need to farm him. Might as well max him. I mean, at least after you get some other of the priority characters in the Blitz Store, go ahead and max them out so you can get 7 stars on Shuri and Invisible Woman, because they're pretty good. The other necessary character is Strife, who I just started working on along with Symbiotes. He's an incredible tank with the Marauders. Probably the second, even arguably first best tank in the game with his team. Not so good as a solo tank, but with Marauders, he's freaking annoying, to say the least.
You're right.
He is a meat wall. He's basically a barrier machine, and it takes forever to get through him in higher end matches. So Strife is definitely a must-have, so it's nice that he's actually available in the Blitz Store. Another reason I haven't really worked on him too much is because you see, I've not got lucky with red star pulls on him at all. So, and you kind of need stats on a tank. So not the best character for you, but he is definitely super important. You know, he doesn't really unlock anything. He's just that good on that team, and the Marauders are a tier 1 alpha, basically, raid or war defense team. So good stuff right there. That's it. That's the 2 characters that I think are completely necessary. Now, there's next tier down would be the ones I consider nice to haves, right? And that's 2 of them here in this group also, and that's Gamora and Mantis, for the sole reason that they unlock Star-Lord, right? So you got 2 characters in the Blitz Store that can help you unlock a legendary character, and while Star-Lord is not nearly as good as he used to be, he's still worth getting for the newer player, but I just recommend you get him later down the line almost naturally. But this is a pretty decent spot to put your Blitz credits, you know, once you start amassing them. But once again, don't start with these 2 characters, because Guardians aren't that good, really. In fact, they're terrible. But, so those are the 2 I'd say that are bordering on must-have, but that's just for later on in the game, all right? So that's basically it. Now, after this, there's a lot of other nice-to-haves in there, but none of these are vital whatsoever. The first one we'll talk about is Toad. Toad is great on the Brotherhood. Not very good as a standalone character, and you can use him to unlock Magneto too, which is kind of nice. So it's nice, easy farm there. I didn't have him around when I first farmed for Magneto, so that's a good thing to have. So if you're wanting to go for Magneto in the future, he's a pretty good place to spend your credits on. Thing is on a very good war offense team in Fantastic Four, but he doesn't get played anywhere else, so he's down on the list. I would say more important than Thing would be Merc Riot Guard right here, because you can use him as a solo tank, and he's a beastly tank on the Mercs for defense in war. So pretty good character to actually have, and he's a good plug-and-play tank for a lot of teams. So Merc Riot Guard's a pretty good farm out there. I'd say more important than probably Toad or Thing. Rescue is just a vital part of a war offense team in Power Armor. Nothing you need to worry about early on, especially because I don't even find Power Armor that good anymore unless they're at pretty high levels. There's the school of thought saying you send them against Marauders, but don't try that at lower levels. Try it at maybe higher levels when there's actually some firepower behind them. But very low priority Rescue. She used to be the Blitz Orb character before she got a node and before Domino got in there, so not good at all. And you don't use her for anything but war offense, so very low on the priority list, but it's something to be considered. Ant-Man, I wouldn't normally say go for him, but he has the new Pimtech tag, which could be vital. Seeing pretty mixed results on the Pimtech team itself, and they're really hard to farm for the newbie, so definitely keep this way back on your radar. He may be a component to unlocking a legendary. We don't know yet. There's been a lot of rumor out there that Pimtech will be the next legendary unlock team, so whatever that may be, that would definitely bump him up a lot, but don't go for him as a character. He's just not good. Trust me. Don't pay any mind to mine. I made some mistakes early on, so try to keep you from that. Crossbones is only recommended for early game tanking for PvE content because his ultimate's pretty decent until about later early game. So this is like probably farther than you actually want to take him gear and wise, but I used him for a long time in Arena with a tech team. Hydra did get where you work, a Hydra team with like Baron Zemo and all that, so there is that factor. That's why he has a little bit of farmability now, so, and I like the character quite a bit. That's why I have him at 7 stars from a lore standpoint, but very low on your priority list, just to let you know. Kree Royal Guard is actually kind of necessary for unlocking Nick Fury, but I place very little value in Nick Fury anymore. That's why he's so low. He's not even on a semi-important, really, list, so.
Are you kidding?
But there's an option for the Nick Fury farmers out there, right? Hydra Trooper and Scientist a little more important actually on this list because they go with the Hydra team, Red Skull team, which is a pretty good still defensive war team, and they can get some use outside that, like Blitz and that sort of thing. Not incredibly useful, but they're two decent characters on those teams, so why not farm them there, right? Oh boy, Ravager Boomer. Notice the star rank. Most of my Blitz characters are at 7 stars. You'll get there eventually because you amass so many Blitz credits, especially now with Sim Blitz. I got most of these 7 stars before Sim Blitz even, so I've been playing for a while.
Sucker! Competitive violent. That's why you're here.
The reason he is on this list is almost a semi-important is because you can use him for the Star-Lord unlock. So, hey, that's worth something right there, right? It's a lot easier than like farming Rocket and stuff. But if you're going to be going for Star-Lord heavy, you probably want to go for the Guardians anyway. But it is an option, and I do believe I used him on the unlocks, so it is an option. Don't level him. He's terrible. Luke Cage, I guess you could use him for block party, but I do not recommend defenders whatsoever, and really there's better like city heroes to use on block party, so I don't recommend using him. I think these were all like out of Blitz Orbs. I got like all these stars. I think I got like 3. I think you get like 3 gold and 3 red out of him automatically just for playing the game. So I think all that's just tertiary from out of the raid orb or the Blitz Orbs. So really, that's it. There is nothing else in here that's vital, and a lot of it really isn't. You know, you're going to be getting a lot of Blitz Orbs, and a lot of Blitz currency. So don't feel too bad if you're making bad choices at the beginning. Like Spider-Man, don't waste any credits on Spider-Man. He's useless except for maybe the Spider-Verse tag. You can fill him in like on your symbiotes team too until you get all symbiotes. So that's where I actually have him now is like a 5th on the symbiotes, but I might not even have him there anymore. Might be Kingpin in there, I can't remember. I had to look at my war defense, but yeah, very, very few like really necessary characters, so it's hard to screw up here, but definitely go for Rhino and Strife first, most important characters, and even less so on Strife if you're a long way away from getting Mr. Sinister, and of course Emma. That's what really makes that team work, but Strife is an indispensable part of it. But really the only key one for new players is Rhino. And after that, it's basically up to your discretion. So I would recommend Rhino, Gamora, Mantis, and Strife as your first farms, just to get Star-Lord, because he's not horrible, but everybody else is basically just, it's nothing mandatory in there after that. And yeah, hopefully that helps you a little bit, and let me know what you think about this in the comments below, and I'll have some more store videos coming up, probably do the Arena store next. And until next time, this is Genome, out.